Hi, in this demo we'll see how to configure ports, LAN and WAN ports of the routers, and in the switch we'll see how to configure the SVI, the switch virtual interfaces for management. In a previous demo we have configured this port of the router's port F00, but we did this from the GUI. I clicked on config and then went to fast Ethernet 00, and I turned on the port and gave it the IP address and the subnet mask. This is only available in GUIs, but in reality we need to do this using the command line interface, either the command line interface, but in real devices we will be either telnetting or using the console port. So let's start with the router. I'll go to the router, CLI, exit, I'll go back to the, here, to the privilege mode. First of all, if you want to know what ports are available in this router, you just do show interface, show IP interface brief. What we see here, we have two Ethernet ports. One is called fast 00 and the other is called fast 01. As you see here, the first one has been given an IP address and it is up, but the second one has not been given an IP address. So I'll go and delete the IP address. The router port is off. I also deleted the IP address and the subnet mask. So how to do this in command line? I'll go to CLI, exit. Okay, first thing, show IP interface brief. This way you see all ports. We need to configure the router's FA00 port now, but using the command line interface. Interface fast 00. This is wrong. I need to be in the configuration mode. Interface FA00. Now we need to give the IP address. IP address 192.168.1.1. This is not enough. The subnet mask also needs to be given. So now I gave the IP address and the subnet mask. Enter. Still not enough. I need to open the port, and on the port no shut. No shut means open the port. The port is on now. It will take some time. Of course, shut will close the port. No shut will open the port. So this was for the fast Ethernet port. A different router now with the serial ports. I'll go and get this second generic port. Let us see what ports we have. Click here, port summary. Yeah, we have serial ports, serial 20 and serial 30. Okay, there is no difference, only the port name is going to be different here. I go to the CLI, enable, conf-d, interface serial 20, for example. Something wrong in the command, interface serial 20. Let's give it any IP address 192.168, for example, 134, 255, 0. No shut. This is the same way we configured the other port in router 1. So it's interface name, IP address, subnet mask, and no shut. Now what about switches? Switches do not have LAN interfaces or WAN interfaces. However, what you're gonna do if you need to configure a switch? If you need to configure a switch remotely, you need to have an IP address. But switches don't need any IP address actually to work. However, for this purpose, we need to give what we call SVI, switch virtual interface. This interface is a virtual interface in the switch. We use it to give an IP address to the switch so that the switch can be remotely accessed. This interface name is VLAN1. It's very simple. We can go to the switch, CLI, CISCO is the console password, enable, class is the enable password. Now conft interface VLAN1. On all switches you do the same. However, the IP address is going to be different. For example, IP address 192.168.1, let's give it 15, or 99, 255.255.255.0. Although it's a virtual interface, but we still need to do no shut. It's going to work like any other interface. Now, we know an IP address in the switch. The IP address is 192.168.199, so we can remotely access the switch. Let us do this by two ways. First way is to ping the switch from PC4. I go to PC4, ping 192.168.199. It might fail the first time, but it should work. Yes, it did. Good. The second way, let us try to telnet to the switch. We can do this from anywhere. Let us try from PC3. Telnet. We are telnetting to the switch now. 192.168.199, which is the management address of the switch. Excellent. This is the telnet password. Enable. This is the any password. You need to give it. Now that's it. You can start working on the switch. Let us change the switch name. For example, conft host name telnet switch. The switch name has been changed. Exit. Okay, I exited the telnet session. So we saw how to give IP addresses to ports of the router, whether serial or fast Ethernet. We also saw how to give a VLAN interface to the switch, which can be used as a management interface. The only difference is the port name. Routers might also have port names like Gigabit Ethernet or Fast Ethernet or serial interfaces. So you need to know the port names first. The command we use to know all the port names is show IP interface brief. This is a very useful command. It gives you all interfaces and what are their names and whether they have been given a password, an IP address or not.